Deep in the heart of Velen, far away from the battlefields of no man's land and the Baron's rule at Crow's Perch, off the main roads and the beaten path, is Crookback Bog. A foul, dangerous place, miserable by any measure, a hard place to eke out a living even for those who have been there for generations. Mud, disease, poisonous gases, monsters. One of the most blighted swamps you'll ever...
What do you have against swamps? Lived here my whole life, and I heartily recommend it.
Geralt's come to this foul place seeking Ciri, and finding her means walking the same path as orphans and unwanted children, the Trail of Treats. This lure of candy calls to mind Hansel and Gretel, one of many allusions to grim fairy tales in the game, and not the last time it makes this particular one. But as is often the case in The Witcher, the fairy tales are twisted into deeply sinister folklore, and the Trail of Treats is rotten candy full of maggots, leading to no gingerbread cottage, but an isolated hut in the middle of an incredibly dangerous swamp. The trail belongs to the real rulers of Velen, mentioned in hushed whispers outside the bog, and here referred to with utter reverence. Their grip over the land is invisible, but definitely felt. The Crones. This trio of witches takes inspiration from the Fates of Greek mythology, and the three sisters from Shakespeare's Macbeth, as well as the Baba Yaga of Russian folklore. They share the hag-like qualities of these trios and their strange supernatural practices, but where the trios of these other works are more passive figures, there to taunt or guide other characters, the Crones here have an agenda of their own. Geralt has to bargain for their aid, and by contrast to the stories they're inspired by, he needs insight into the past, not the future. A sign that Geralt is not really the subject of destiny himself, that he's instead an aid in someone else's story. It's not just bargaining with the Crones either. All the threads of this questline involve some kind of exchange.
Would you turn this beautiful act of altruism into a banal bartering of favours?
There's no money to be made or anything that can be bought. Eking out a living here means everyone operates on a bartering system, exchanging goods, favours, and even sacrifices. This bartering goes all the way from the lowest swamp dweller to the top of Velen's food chain, the Crones. Blood, ears, children. The folk here make all manner of sacrifices to appease them and earn their favour.
'Tis our pact. You're a stranger, you don't know life here. It's honest pay for their protection.
So, all those ears in the woods.
Put it out your mind, master. You soon be leaving and we must tarry on, our young'uns and their young'uns after 'em. No gods nor masters watch over Velen. The land is no man's. He who wants to survive must seek his own protectors.
Crookback Bog is undoubtedly a hard place to live, but it's hard to say just how much safer the Crones have made it. Crossing them seems pretty woeful. Anna was kidnapped and magically leashed to get her to fulfill her deal with them, so their protection seems more like a racket than a kind of offering. Less help us help you, and more appease us or else. Yet for the folk here, these exchanges are just the way of life. When a bad winter can mean the end for a whole village, chopping off the odd ear here and there might seem like a small price to pay. This contrasts with the game's other big religious entity, the Eternal Fire, where the Crones are folklore, rites and old wisdom, powers that can be traded with. The Eternal Fire is an institution. It exerts its power, and the rewards it gives are far less tangible. Yet it comes from a part of the world that's comfier, where food is plentiful, and wandering off the beaten path doesn't mean getting chewed to death by an ugly fucking monster. Just as we'll see the creatures of Velen be out of place in the sprawling city of Novigrad, so too are the Flames faithful in Crookback Bog. When the witch hunters come to rescue Anna, they are perilously underprepared for what the Crones can throw at them, and only Geralt's presence saves them. Out here in the mire, faith alone is useless. And in feeding the Crones and giving them what they want, have their followers made the problem worse? This serves as an interesting parallel to the Eternal Fire, which we've watched grow over the Witcher trilogy, from a small cult into a powerful kingdom-spanning religion, all while smaller religions and folk gods have faded away. In both cases, the game is asking us to examine what happens when you place your own security in the hands of others, what freedoms are sacrificed, and who ultimately pays the price for your safety. In the case of the Eternal Fire, it's those who are different, thrown in the pyre to ensure their iron grip is maintained and the illusion of protection can go on. In the case of the Crones, it's the young, the children. At the end of the questline, we learn Ciri was almost killed and eaten by them for her elder blood that runs through her veins. It's clear then that the Crones crave power above all else. The favour Geralt must do for the Crones involves a malevolent spirit possessing a tree, with players choosing to save or kill it. Saving it allows it to rescue the orphans of the swamp, but the villagers, followers of the Crones and Downwarren, will be killed. Killing the spirit saves Downwarren, but leaves the orphans to their fate. Either way, the deal struck cannot be broken without cost. Here, The Witcher 3 isn't so concerned with your specific choice, but rather to showcase that no matter which way you go, the toll is heavy. It wants us to be critical of any relationship that puts a few above many, and as an outsider, Geralt can't help but be critical of these relationships. Because the fear that drives us to make sacrifices in the name of security and comfort drives us to creating monsters greater than the ones we feared in the first place. No monster in the swamp can compare to the power and cruelty of the Crones. And every inch of the bog, the question lingers. Is it worth it?
Seeing you, handsome knight.